Hi, and welcome back to a boat called Wanda. So for those tenacious viewers that have been watching this program for years and years, you might remember that one of the first things that I did when rebuilding Wanda was to start to make up some cap rail pieces, and I was using Iroko timber, and I made most of the cap rail, and there's a few sections that I didn't get round to because I quickly discovered that there were far worse problems with Wanda than a cap rail, and you know, that led on to sort of deck core replacement and all sorts of massive projects. Anyway, I've got one piece left to do, and that's the piece that goes around the stern. So this is the original piece here, nice and knackered. I need to make it up to be this profile, which is 19 millimeters deep and then 50 millimeters across. This is the channel here that I need to route out. And to do that, yesterday I went down to Wanda. I've got this piece of, it's actually an old piece of floorboard. I screwed this onto the existing deck to hull joint, and then I got a pencil and traced around, and I got this profile. And I've just been smoothing it out with a longboard sander to get a nice even curve. I can use this for a template. I can screw this down to those pieces of Iroko now and use this as a routing template to cut this piece out, and then I can put it into my routing table and cut the channel. So that's what I'm up to now. Just doing a little bit of work to see what I need to plan for next up here. So I've got the cockpit floor that's down. I've got a lid there that I can just sit on the top or mount it if I want. I've got a glove box there and there. So I've just got a little strip of wood that I need to put into the glove boxes and put some varnish on, then I can put them in. There's an instrument panel there which I need to put back in. And a tiny instrument panel there. So that's looking backwards. That would be everything that I need to do. Looking forwards, I've just been making a template for this. There was a series of instrument panels here. I think probably the original Volvo Penta and then the Yanmar and a few other bits and pieces. So I want to just create a piece of Iroko that goes along here. So I've just created this template to take home and cut out, and then I've got a hole there. I think I'm just going to put a piece of G10 circular disc around it with some butyl tape, and one over there, and that basically sits underneath a a platform here and takes any cables. That's what that's for. So today I'm hoping I might be able to do a job that actually finishes on the same day that I start. So if you have a look at this, these are two aluminium strips that hold the sliding hatch that goes on top of the coach roof in place. And yeah, I've just brought them back to take a look and clean them up, and I'm going to have a bit of a crack at trying to polish aluminium if I can be bothered. So let's see what happens. The first thing I need to do is just like really get all the crud off them. So I think I'll just start with 120 grit sandpaper, and then maybe switch to wet and dry. And if I can find, you know, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, I might actually see if I can get a bit of a mirror polish on. I've just finished one of those aluminium rails, and yeah, I'm quite really pleased with it actually. So I started off using my orbital sander with 120 grit, and then I swapped over to using wet and dry, and that turned out to work much better. So I started off with 120 grit wet and dry, and then moved up to 600, and then 1200, and 1200 is the highest grit that I've got here. I was tempted to try and get a mirror finish. I'm sort of interested in how you can polish aluminium to get a mirror finish, but yeah, I'll save that for another project, another experiment, because I just want to get this done. But anyway, I think it looks fine. It's really nice that I can reuse something for a change and not have to go out and buy something new. And of course, the main, most important part is that these tracks are really smooth, so that the hatch can slide up and down without much friction. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that I've got a really nice smooth surface here in the channel using that 120, 600 and 1200 grit here. So yep, so we can just do a comparison. That's what it started out like, and that's what it's finished up like. So now I can just go ahead and do the other rail, and then I can take it down to Wanda and fit it all together. The one thing that I don't remember is whether or not I drilled out the existing screw holes for these where it went down, and you know, widened them out, filled them with epoxy or not. It's such a long time ago, and I think when I just started out with Wanda, I was a bit nervous about covering over holes and starting again. It's like every hole was precious, so I've got a feeling that I might have tried to have left them there so that I can reuse them, which of course is just stupid, because I should have just drilled every hole out, filled it with thickened epoxy, and been confident that I can come back along later on and just redo everything. But yeah, that's the way it was, and lessons learned. So yeah, just go down and see what's there, and then deal with whatever is there. If there's not thickened epoxy there, then I'll just have to do that. I'll drill out all the holes and do that now. Yeah, well, as suspected, I've just been drilling these pilot holes, or even just marker holes, and I can see that I'm just drilling through into nothing. Yeah, so look, I'll have to just drill out these holes and put some thickened epoxy in them and come back tomorrow and set it in. Bit of forcing a bit here, let's see how that goes on this laminate. yeah, just back into this closed cell foam. I've got some butyl tape on the back of these tracks that should help provide some grip through friction, plus also just make sure that it's sealed up nicely and flush to the top of the coach roof. This is a different type of butyl tape again. This is a blue one, and it's sold in hardware stores as a sort of plumbing or roofer's mastic, and I think it'll be more than fine for this job. The reason I didn't use the black tubular stuff is this is a nice sort of 1-inch flat tape and about 2 to 3 millimeters thick, so it's already perfect for this type of profile, so that's why I'm using it. Now comes the part where it comes all together. Need to be a little bit careful that I don't make contact with the surface with the butyl tape until it's in the right position, otherwise once it touches it's game over in terms of being able to move and adjust it. Right, that's it. Committed. Now I'll use a little bit of this round butyl just to put it around the countersink. Get a nice seal on it. Okay, job done. A little bit stiff down this end. But, yeah, that might not be such a bad thing. I can't wait to get this tent off. It's so hot in this cockpit, it really seals in the heat. Anyway, I've just realised I've got a problem with these panels that I've made there, which is to go over all the old cutouts and sort of tidy it up a bit. Basically, I'd forgotten that there was another piece of the boat that goes here, a shelf. Let me put that in now. So once that piece is there, the instrument panel is sitting up too high, as you can see there. So I probably need to take about 10 mil or something off the bottom.
Well, I ordered up one more through-hole fitting, which arrived in the week, so I can put this in now. This will go into the bilge pump outlet, and this is one of the last ones to do. So I'm just going to put some polysulfide compound around this as a bedding material, and then put it in. I've already got some pipe threading material or tape wrapped around this. Now, I did see one comment about questioning whether or not polysulfide should be used below the waterline, and I replied to the comment, but yes, absolutely yes, polysulfide is the right thing It's a sealant, it's not an adhesive, but as a sealant, it's good to be below the waterline, and that's exactly what I'm looking for here. I'm not looking for an adhesive because all my strength is coming from the Grocco Seacock backing flange and the backing plate that it's on, and it's all through bolted, so that's giving it all of its strength. So all of the only job that the bedding compound is doing here is just providing a sealant. There's no adhesive characteristic required from this material, and that's why this is going to work out just fine. Basically, the first thing I do is put some of this polysulfide material around the recess here, or the channel. There's a channel in this head of the through hole, and that's just to make sure that you get a good decent amount of bedding material laid up here. So I'll go around that, and then I actually just sort of try and force it into that channel to make sure that there's plenty of material there. I also put a circle on the hull itself, or on the shell, so that I've got plenty of material there. And then finally I'll do one more piece in the middle here, and then smooth it around with my finger, and that should give me plenty of material. So using my through-hole fitting tool, I can now start to tighten this up. So what I've been doing, which is working quite well, is to tighten it up and get maybe 3 to 4 millimeters off the surface of the boat, and that will give me a really good squeeze out. And then I'll take all that material away, scrape it off the boat, and then I'll do another few turns until I get it down to maybe 1 or 2 millimeters off, and I'll get another squeeze out, and then finally I'll tidy that up. I'm just using my squidgy to take off the excess, and then finally this is what it looks like at the end. One job I've got coming up that's going to be incredibly time consuming and quite labour intensive, but will have a real impact to the way Wanda looks, is the way that I varnish all the woodwork. So I've got all those cap rail pieces that I need to do. Before I set them down on the cap rail, I want to varnish them all. So doing these little panels that I've done for the cockpit is actually a really good practice for me to do some varnishing and work out you know, the technique and getting it all right before I start all the cap rails. So I've just got those little cockpit panels here, and I've also got just a couple of little ledges that go into the glove box, and they just sit here so that when the boat's rocking around, things aren't falling out of the glove boxes. So these will be a perfect candidate to, thanks Ruby for knocking the camera. There's so many different products on the market out there, and so I did a lot of research and spent a lot of time reading, and it's actually a little bit overwhelming. But in the end, I decided to use Epiphanes. This brand's got a pretty good reputation. But then the problem was trying to select which product they've got, because they've got such a massive product line. So they've got single pack, double pack, polyurethane varnishes. Then they've got these fast drying, normal drying. What I've settled on is this, it's called a wood finish. And this is recommended for timbers such as Iroko and teak. And what I'm going to do is put down gloss to start with, and then the last couple of coats is going to be the matte finish to really cut out that super sort of glossy finish. And I think I need to put in about 7 layers, and I start off with a high concentration of thinners. I think it's 25%, and then I drop the thinners down. So yeah, this is a really good chance to do some practice, and I'm going to get started just by giving everything a really good wash down with acetone. Is what they recommend for Iroko and teak and woods like that. This has been sanded down to 240 grit. Ideally I would have gone down to 380, but I don't have any of that paper here, so I think 240 will be good enough. I've just hot glued it to some pieces so that I've got it off this plastic, so I can work with that. Just giving this a really good stir. It's been sitting here since December, so it's yeah, needs to be mixed up. I've got some calibrated cups here, and I'm just going to be following a 3-to-1 ratio the first round. Put in 25% thinners. Okay, this is the thinner. And I can just go up to my 3-to-1 ratio. So it's super runny, and I guess that's just to really penetrate into the fibres of the Iroko. So this varnish needs 24 hours drying at 20 degrees or 48 hours drying at 10 degrees between coats, and I think the temperature is going to be anywhere between 10 and 20. So I think one coat every 2 days. I need to put 7 coats on. I reduce the amount of thinners. I think I can sand off after the 5th coat, and then I'll put the last 2 coats on of matte finish. So yeah, if I get some varnish on every 2 days, then that's 7 coats at 2 days, 14 days. So I think I'll just do this in the background, and then once that's done, then I can go down, put them into the cockpit in Wanda, and then I can take the tent off, so that'll be a real milestone. So exciting times. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching. If you do have any feedback or comments or guidance on how the best way to apply varnish is to get the best finish using a paintbrush, then feel free to add a comment. I'm an absolute novice at varnishing and painting, so yeah, would appreciate any help or guidance along the way. So yep, I'll see you again hopefully in 2 weeks. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.